So this is a message for adults. If you're not an adult, you might as well not listen because you'll probably just argue with me. But, we all have opportunities in life, right? You have people come in and out of your life, options with jobs, options with if you want to further your education, how you're going to raise your kids, options, they're everywhere. So when it comes down to, and I know I'm talking about love a lot the last couple days because it's kind of what's mulling over in my head, all the relationships I've been in, because when one exits your life, you kind of like, well, what does that mean now? So when you have options, choose wisely. Don't expect someone to wait around for you. Don't go off and try to prove that you're in control. That's actually a devilish energy when you can't compromise with one another. When you got to be the one that's always, this is how it's going to be done. And if you can't act right, then you go over there, sit down and learn a lesson. What? Like what the? Who are you in life to teach someone a lesson? Especially when it comes down to you want to play. Shoo, go play. But when the time comes and you have gone through all of your options, don't come running back to the one that you shit on. Like, that makes no sense. Especially when you haven't taken the time to heal yourself. Because this is the one thing that, sorry, I have an itch. A lot of people aren't focusing on healing. No, they want to keep doing, like I said in the last video, get under someone to get over someone. That is not helpful. We all are being given the chance to regain our self-worth, to love ourselves, to build ourselves up, to become the best version of ourselves. And you can't do that if you're just sitting here playing heartless, mindless games because you want to be in control because you have no control over yourself. Because essentially, if you're sitting here battling for control, like I said, it's you have no control. So instead of playing games, maybe get a little discipline in your life, surrounding yourself, your own behaviors, your choices, what it is that you're pursuing. Sit down. Build some goals and have a plan for a future. Instead of you're 40 years old acting like you're 15 years old, that there's no consequences. Like I said in the very beginning, this is for adults. So we all know as adults that there's consequences to our actions. That when we play with fire, what happens? We get burned. You can let the best things in your life pass you by because you're waiting on something better. Knowing that you had the best right there in your grasp. The one that would reciprocate love to you. The one that would love you unconditionally. The one that patted you on the back on a hard day. The one that told you your strengths when you were at your weakest point. The one that pointed out that there's hope. That love is real, that there's still a future for you, even though they found out all your darkest secrets and they kept those quiet from the rest of the world and tried to help you no longer be a dung beetle. They tried to shine you up to show yourself. Because there's a lot of us that do this for other people. There's a lot of us that our efforts are to help you see yourself in the best light possible so you can become the greatest version of yourself. We are the storytellers. We are the dreamers. We are the hopeless romantics, the ones full of love, light, and life. And the funny thing is when people get around me, if you're this kind of person as well, you'll know what I'm talking about. But your light irritates the fire out of them. It's almost like the demons come and you see them. You hear the thoughts. You see the grimace. You see them, oh, how dare you. And it's not even challenging anybody. Being yourself is not meant to challenge somebody. It's to show others that it's okay to be yourself. Please do. I applaud that. That takes courage. That takes strength. That takes vulnerability. A lot of things that people are not willing to even practice anymore. They're not willing to put themselves out there because what? You've been hurt? Come on. If you stopped walking because you stubbed your toe, you would waste away. So why stop living and putting yourself out there in a good light just because somebody hurts you? Hurt is the fact of life. Just think, for you to be born, someone else had to feel the pain. Just like when you pass away, other people will feel the pain. Pain is a part of life. And if we want to keep avoiding it, we can't accept it. We're going to keep living in this false illusion that life is perfect. Let me just have my cocktail and take my pills and life is perfect. That is delusional. There's no sanity in an insane concept. So you have to start asking yourself. And if you've already clicked off, then I assume you're not the adult. You can't take the truth. And maybe because I'm an Aquarian and it's so blunt, like I don't know how to sugarcoat things anymore. I don't know how to put pretty wrapping on a gift to serve a dose of reality. It's not a pretty concept, especially in a world that thrives on lies and competition and hatred and power. And if you're so busy trying to disempower somebody else to be powerful, you're not being truthful with yourself. Come on, let's get with reality. How far are you going to make it if you want to keep competing with everyone around you? That is one of the most unhealthy ways of living. You're not even competing with yourself at this point because you don't find yourself to be a threat because you're so wrapped up in your delusions. You have very little to offer that you need to create illusions, false hopes and promises, and then walk away when someone trusts you that you're willing to take part in being a part of a life? What's the point? What's the end game? What are you going to achieve? A life of loneliness? A life of misery and regret? Is it really worth it to be powerful and almighty? To go through all of your options and then try to go back to the one that has their shit together? Come on now. Do you think you're even going to be welcome into that atmosphere? You chose to go off and practice being a failure, living in fear and hate. Why would somebody who's worked to build themselves up say, come be a part of my world? I've learned to not trust you, but I can learn to trust you. Doesn't make sense. Somebody make it make sense. That we live in an ass-backwards world where cheaters and haters get further in life on false emotions than people that are open, raw, and just in everything that they're trying to do in life. Make it make sense. Because I still have big dreams. I still have goals that don't involve just my life. And there's been all these setbacks. I think because I focused on love for so long. I remember someone saying that you're in love with love, and I was like, whatever. I see it now. I've spent most of my life trying to convince myself that love is real. And it has set me back greatly. Doesn't mean I've given up on it. It just means that it's time to put what I feel like childish concepts to bed, to work smarter and actually help the world around me. Because this whole channel started, Hearts Healing Forward started from my heartbreak, from experiencing so much abuse and finally admitting to myself that it was abuse and saying, I don't want anyone else to go through that. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to do things that I would have never done. I'm going to be judged. Your judgment will not kill me. Just because not everyone's listening, it won't silence me. I'll keep writing. I'll keep building. And the day that you see that place, that safe place for people to go, to heal, help one another, build each other back up, you'll know my dreams finally came true. I finally bought that land. I finally built that healing sanctuary to help others move forward in life. Because I still have dreams. It will still become a reality. So, just a little rant for adults. And talk to y'all later. Bye.